Hi, I'm Shord, and in this video I'll explain how to transfer this Mercedes Smart Key to a new casing. Note that there are different Mercedes Smart Keys. This concerns some older types, where the emergency key is not on the top but on the side. When you press the slider, the emergency key can be pushed out from the bottom. Now, let's get started with transferring the casing. When you press the slider, the emergency key can be pushed out from the bottom. Well, let's get started with transferring the casing. We can also see that the new casing is open at the top. We're going to transfer the battery holder from the original, just like the circuit board, to the new casing. I'm going to set the new one aside for now, because we're going to start with the original. At the top of the battery holder, we have a slider here. And when we slide this to the side, we can either move the emergency key down, or we can take it out from the top. Next, we have a small slider located at the bottom, just below the battery holder, that we need to press in. When we press this in, you'll quickly see that the battery holder separates from the casing. We can take this out. The battery holder I have here doesn't have any batteries in it yet. I'll place that in there like this. And the key blade is also cut. Now, of course, we're moving on to the new key. So now we have another casing with a small circuit board inside. Using a small pair of pliers, we're going to carefully take this out. Note that with other Mercedes Smart Keys, it's often recommended to pull it out from the back with a pair of tweezers. But in this model, there is a transponder coil in the back, so don't do that, as it could possibly damage it. But this model has a transponder coil in the back, so don't do that, because it could possibly break it. A small pair of pliers is the safest option here, but just use a small pair of pliers to carefully take this out and avoid damaging any components on the circuit board. We can actually see that there are a lot of circuit board components at the beginning. I'm really just simply trying to securely, carefully, and precisely grab the first 2 millimeters. Well, here we see the transponder coil. There are a whole bunch of components, and this will all go into the new casing. We set the old casing aside, and very carefully grab the new one. Well, as I mentioned, the key blade indeed uses the original one. You could also have the new one cut, but often it's been used so little, since it's just a spare key, that the original one works just fine. First, we place the micro switches and all the components with this side facing in towards the buttons. This will then sit nicely and securely in a specific spot inside its designated location here. Then I grab the battery holder. Here, 2 2025 batteries go in. On the battery holder, there is a spot on one side where 2 plus signs are. The plus signs face the side with the text. This side will be positioned at the top, and we place this neatly in its spot. Next, we slide this whole thing into the casing and close it up nicely. You can take a quick look when you press a button to see if you see the red light. You always have to hold the trunk button down for 2 seconds before you see a light, and sometimes the button works well. Next, we place the original spare key back into the casing, and then I try to slide this right through. You feel a click, and it needs to stay firmly in place. And this is how you replace the casing of this Mercedes Smart Key. Well, I hope you've also managed to transfer your Mercedes Smart Key from the old key to the new one. If you didn't quite figure it out, feel free to send an email to info.autosloidal.nl, or you can leave a comment under this video. Good luck.